Hi, I'm your host, Michelle Poverman, a former anxious empath turned mostly grounded psychotherapist, intuitive guide, and energy healer, and this is Into the Work. And it isn't just a podcast. It's your actual invitation to break free from old patterns, end the cycle of your self-abandonment, and finally step into the life your soul has been craving. Each episode is a spark to help you rise higher, to help you shine brighter and reclaim the truth of who you really are. The spark has already been lit. And sister, this is a journey from spark to brilliance. So together, let's go ignite a fire. Hey there, welcome back to the 100th episode of Into the Work, Therapy for Empaths and Seekers. We've had 100 conversations about your boundaries, about your identity, about your intuition, your expansion, and definitely on how to step into your power. And what I know now, more than ever, is this, that actually none of it matters. If your nervous system doesn't feel safe enough to move forward, you'll stay stuck. And if you've been feeling overwhelmed and numb and stuck, like so many of us right now, like you just want to move forward, but you just can't, like in your brain, you're saying, I should be moving forward. What's wrong with me? I haven't really done what I thought I was supposed to do. You're not on the plan, whatever your plan is. I need you to hear this. I do not believe that you are procrastinating. I do not even think in any way, shape, or form you are lazy. This is not even necessarily a lack of clarity. I mean, it could be, that's woven in there, but I believe this is functional freeze. And right now, it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, we are living in a time where systems are being exposed, destabilized, and questioned. It feels like every day I turn on something, I am seeing with my eyes, with my ears, with every sensory part that I own, that like democracy is falling and the world feels really awful and news cycles feel intense and collective anxiety is high and the ground totally feels like it's shifting. Your nervous system wasn't necessarily designed to metabolize this much uncertainty with this level of consistency. Does that make sense? And if you are a spiritually aware, heart-led person, right? An entrepreneur, maybe you have a business, perhaps, you're out in the world doing whatever it is that you're doing. But you're coming from a place of being an empath, a sensitive soul, a seeker, somebody who is here to make a difference, somebody whose job, whose calling in some level of care is to impact people around you. You aren't just watching this. You're feeling it. I'm sorry, but we are all feeling it. And honestly, I do believe that so many of my heart-led entrepreneur types are really, really feeling it. And I want to really call this out because I think this is actually really important to recognize for those of us that have a business. You are the face of that business. You are the voice of that business. You are the values of that business. You are the nervous system of your business. This isn't a corporate machine with layers of separation. It's intimate. So when the world feels unstable, you don't just ask like, how do I grow? What should I be focusing on? You ask like, is it okay for me to sell right now? Should I speak up? If I don't say anything, am I hiding? If I do say something, will I alienate people? How do I lead when I don't even feel steady at all myself? And there's a lot to hold. That's why I'm really calling it functional freeze because, well, burnout says, that you've done too much, but this freeze, it says it's not safe to move. And there's a difference, right? So it's not just that you're burnt out by it all. You're actually struggling, moving forward on things that you really want to. And for our business owners, this is really magnified right now. And, there's plans in place. There's milestones you want to reach. There's things that you feel like you need to do. There's passion and purpose that's always been behind it. But right now, it might feel that's really far away and that you can't move. And functional freeze is protective immobilization. So you're still scrolling, unfortunately for most of us, because you want to know. You want to be aware. You don't want to be totally shut off. You want to understand what's happening. You want to know what's happening. So you're still scrolling. You're still showing up to some degree. You're still tweaking things, potentially. You're definitely still thinking about things. But you don't move because your nervous system it's literally bracing right now. And I'm going to tell you, I started this episode today because I recognized I was sitting here. My family was away. I had the whole house to myself. And I literally haven't talked to anybody. I'm being serious. I haven't talked to anybody in 3 days. Okay. Like I've been holed up in my house. I was loving every minute of it. I'm not going to lie. Like I don't usually get time like this alone. And so I've been home alone for 3 days, and it's been glorious in some ways, but also it's showing me a mirror to how all over the place my brain is, to, trying to do a task when I'm trying to do 700 tasks, right? Like I'm spinning on my own in the house. Like, what am I going to do now? What am I doing right now? Right. And it's definitely been eye-opening for me because I've had some space to really look at how I'm doing. And up until this moment, I have been, like many of you, I've been busy, running from thing to thing, making sure I'm home on time for this or that, getting to work. And this really has woken me up to the fact that I am in my own freeze state. And I kind of knew it, but I was operating at a level in which I was not truly 100% present for it. And I saw the signs and I immediately sat down, and I've taken some time to really recognize what's going on. And I share this with you because, my own freeze state is not unlike yours. So I have shut down. I have all these things I was supposed to have done in my business by now. I have not done them, right? I haven't really been on social media at all. I haven't really put myself out there at all. I keep thinking in my head all these things I want to say, but then I never really actually put them out there. I have all these epiphanies and things that I want to do that I feel will be impactful, and then they never get put into action. And so they actually never touch anybody, and nothing ever comes of them. But I'm frozen in action, not in mind, right? And so I am noticing like, wow. I didn't realize that I was avoiding moving forward, and how up in my head, I had become powerless. I started telling myself a story about being powerless, about I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm shifting some things in my business right now, and I am truly excited about it. It's all intuitive. But when we're in this freeze state, all that intuitive information, all that connection that you feel to something, it dissolves, right? Because we're in fear state. And so I'm not attached to it. I'm not feeling connected to my knowing. And I've just been operating up in my head, like going through all the things I should have done, didn't do. And here's the difference is right now, I created some space, and I am able to acknowledge it. I'm able to turn the ship around, and I'm able to get back on track as best that I can. And I can also, in the process, held a lot of compassion for myself right now that, I'm holding so much, and so are you. And I am taking in stuff that's really triggering to my soul, to my being here and my purpose here and who I am here. And I've had to have a really good talking with myself today. And it was really awesome. We had a really good conversation. And I'm going to share with you some things I want you to sort of focus on for you. And I want to help you get out of your freeze state. But the goal is not that you'll never freeze again. Here I am, years down the road of this work. I help other people with this. And not once did I say to myself today, by the way, what's wrong with you? You help other people do this. What an imposter you are that you're stuck. I didn't say that once to myself because that's bullshit. I'm a human being here. I don't get to be above it. I have this nervous system I was born with. I have this set of sensory abilities. I have this, all the things that make me me and uniquely me are going to get me here sometimes. And it isn't that I was supposed to be different. And neither are you. You are not supposed to be different than what you are in this very moment. And we're gonna dive into some important things on that are going to help you see this differently. But let's get clear and concrete here about what functional freeze you might be in. And I just want to make sure you're able to acknowledge some things for yourself. I want you to notice if instead of creating whatever you really want for yourself, right? If you're in business and you're an entrepreneur, then you've got something you're supposed to be creating right now, right? If you have a project, whatever you're doing in your life, if there's something you want to be doing, that you have a goal, there's something that's important to you and you're not doing it. I want you to notice if you're scrolling instead, if you're doing things that are mindless, if you're doing things that are addictive, if you're doing things that are pulling you and leaving you depleted afterwards. They seem like they make us feel better because they almost quelch some sort of desire or need, but then in the end, we usually feel less than. I want you to notice if, in your business or whatever out in the world, you are kind of repeating things and redoing things and getting perfectionistic. Those little perfectionism, you hear me say this all the time, but I love that term, procrastinating. Like, have you been researching for weeks, by the way? Right? Like, are you researching and researching and researching? Are you waiting for clarity that never quite lands, right? Are you waiting for something that's going to truly make or break it, and then it's perfect now and you can push yourself out there? Are you feeling numb? Maybe you're feeling numb instead of anxious. Maybe you're just feeling like, I feel detached. I feel nothing. I feel like I have no motivation. I just don't care. I'm just surviving, getting by. I want you to notice if you're avoiding visibility by telling yourself you're refining. You got to make it perfect first. That's my MO, by the way. Doing busy work instead of needle moving work, right? Like, I can't tell you how freaking busy I have been, but did I do anything that moved the needle in my business? I haven't. Not really. That's okay. It's really important that we just acknowledge it. Like, oh my God, ha ha ha. Yeah, look at you. There you are, old friend. There it is, right? It's happening. And are you noticing, this is one of the things I've been doing. I've been fantasizing about disappearing. I've been fantasizing about I really just want to go to the mountain town or somewhere where I think I need 2 months off. And wouldn't that be lovely? Of course it would. But feeling detached from your mission, starting things, not finishing them, saying, I just need to feel inspired again. Those are little cues for you. These aren't character flaws. They're little cues for you that your nervous system is probably overloaded and you're not functioning in your business, right? So why expansion triggers shutdown? So when you think about doing something that's expansive, I don't care honestly, you could think about this as your new exercise routine. But if you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking about this in terms of your business. But growth means exposure. Exposure means being seen. Being seen means other people's opinions, people projecting stuff onto you, feeling rejection, making yourself vulnerable and feeling rejected. And most definitely, for those of us that have a sensitivity to this, feeling misunderstood, like putting yourself out there and somebody doesn't get it and they misread you and they don't like it. And your nervous system does not interpret that as business growth. If this is an exercise routine, if it's some goal you set for yourself, that's, what it is for you. All these things make you vulnerable as well, right? They're all things. You can still be rejected. You can still fail. You can still have other people's opinions fall upon you. But your nervous system does not interpret it as growth. Right? So you're not like, oh, this is business growth. Failure isn't your nervous system isn't like, oh, look at this business growth. It interprets it as risk. Our brain is about risk. It isn't about the warm, fluffy, fun stuff. It's about risk. It's about survival. And I want you to add that, your normal stuff, right? And you're going to add that to the collective instability that's happening right now. And your system is literally like, nope, no thank you. Nope, 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 not right now. We are not doing that right now, right? And the sacred path, and I think this is important, okay, that you are not following a step-by-step plug-and-play plan designed for speed and scale at lightning pace. You are not following someone else's footsteps because you're not replicating someone else's blueprint. And you get out there in the world and you see all these people doing things certain ways, and you get all the messaging that you get about how to do things. And this is true for all of you and every goal you have. You are creating something that has literally never existed before in a time that has never existed before, because you have never existed before, and this moment has never existed before. Your path is uniquely sacred. And sacred paths are not linear. Think of any example of anybody that you would say they're on a really sacred, beautiful path, and there isn't some harrowing story. I mean, there really isn't. It doesn't exist. Part of the sacred path is struggle and getting over that struggle. And that's what it's about. And they don't all look the same, though. You know, my path looks different than your path, and your path is going to be looking different to everybody else's path. One woman might be called to leap boldly into visibility, while another is called to take little micro action steps that rebuild trust in her own nervous system. Neither is more evolved. Neither is more courageous. They just are what they are. They are responding to their internal guidance. Comparison is totally useless. I want you to hear that. Comparison is absolutely, stuntingly so, if that's a word, useless, because no one has ever walked your exact terrain, especially not in these times. So I really want you to grasp that when you look at being frozen potentially right now and shutting down or feeling overwhelmed or not doing the thing, right? I want you to hold space for this, that you have a unique path and it is A-okay to be where you are, that this has never been done before by you. And even if it has in the past, you're doing it somehow different now, or, something about it is freezing you up. And it's not necessarily that you need to forcefully override the freeze, because a lot of us think, like, I just got to discipline myself. I just got to force myself to do it. And you might be able to do that. That's certainly what a lot of the gurus will tell you to do. But I think us sensitive souls, us soulful individuals here have different sensory systems. We're here for different reasons. And I believe that for many of us, that is a crash and burn story. Some of us, it's not about go out there and hastily launch a program. It's about micro movements and taking small steps and outline one section, record one imperfect video, right? Write one paragraph, send one email, do these small steps to get energy moving. Your body needs to know that it's safe to move. When you take somebody who's in freeze and you put anything bigger than that in front of them, they stay frozen. So for me, this weekend, I was like, okay, I need to just spend some time meditating on it. I need to spend some time reading about it. I need to get back in alignment with what I'm doing here and why I want it. And it was really helpful. It really helped guide me into getting reattached to my vision, my forward vision. I highly recommend you do the same. I highly recommend that your job right now, one of your micro steps, is to re-engage, reconnect with your why and who you are here to become, because she already exists. She already lives within you. And this is exactly why you're here. And so is this freeze, right? This is as important as everything else. As much as we don't want it to be, it's intelligence. These micro movements are also great ways of navigating divine timing. So on some level, if we can acknowledge, this is what I acknowledge for myself. This is my path. This is my divine timing. I am right on time. I wanted to do this way. I wanted to get things done already. But my brain was not in alignment with my divine timing. And sometimes it almost can feel a little bit impossible to be fully aligned with that, because we are, I don't know about you, I get very inspired and excited for things. And so then I get disappointed when I don't follow through with them. But that just means that, the divine timing, was off. And it's okay to get excited about something, put it aside, and then return back to it. So, all right, let's talk about what you need to do to regulate before you start to strategize how you're going to move forward. I want you to think strategy second, regulation first. You don't need a better funnel right now. I think you just need a regulated nervous system, and then you can move to that step, right? To get what I'm saying? Like, whatever your goal is that you're working on, if it's not business, I want you to say, I need to regulate my nervous system and do things that get me going. Right. And that might be just to reattach to the connection between you and the thing that you really want, and breathe in the safety that's necessary for you to move forward. We need to move our bodies. A lot of this freeze stuff is really caught up in our tissue, right? So I'm talking about truly physically moving your body. I don't care if you're dancing in the kitchen, you're shaking it out, you're working out, you're hiking, you're getting fresh air, you're getting outside. I want you to take slow, deep breaths throughout today. Okay, you're listening to this podcast. If it's late, let's do this tomorrow. I want you to see the real truth to what it can be like for you to stop and take slow, deep breaths multiple times a day. And that means breathing in for like 6 count, holding it, breathing out for like 7 or 8. Like you're breathing in like a pinhole in the balloon, and then you're breathing out like a pinhole in the balloon. That is signaling to your autonomic nervous system that it is time to shut your sympathetic nervous system off and click on your relaxation response that you have embedded in your body, which is a beautiful gift. So I want you to do that multiple times a day. Safety first, strategy and attack second, okay? And if you want to sit down and accomplish something, try meditating first. This is my surefire thing. Before I even wrote out, I kind of put together an outline for this. I do put it together an outline for all my podcasts. And I just ask God, source, to move through me. I ask for guidance. I sit down, I breathe in, open up my chakras. I breathe in, I ask for guidance, and I say, please let something flow through me versus spinning in my head about it. So I want to invite you to do the same. So if you have something that you want to work out, you want to hash it out, you sit down, you get yourself some tea, put on some music, right? I have to make the environment really like a place I want to hang. If I don't make it a place I want to hang and I just kind of go in like full start and I just I'm an autopilot, I don't do as well. I don't last as long. I need it to feel comfy. And then just really breathe in and really hand it over. Because we are connected to source, God, whatever, right? We are connected, and that energy is pouring through us at all times. And it's like a ripple effect, right? It's always coming out and always coming in. And I want you to imagine that you are grounding yourself in that way. So let's just review so far. We've got micro movements, small steps. I want you to regulate before you sort of try to throw yourself into action or strategize even. And then I also want you to look at limiting your input without avoidance. So you're allowed to consume information in doses that your body can metabolize, okay? So I want you to ask yourself, at what point does this feel like I can't tolerate it? Staying informed does not require that you drown in something. I realize that it is a privilege to be sitting in my warm home right now and talking on this microphone to you. It is absolutely a privilege, and I'm not taking that for granted. And I have a lot of feelings, right? Like you do probably. And me drowning in it, and me suffocating, and me collapsing, and me burning out and shutting down and being so overwhelmed that I'm not functioning the way that I want to in the world, none of that helps anybody. It doesn't help anybody. Using my voice so you know how I feel, educating people, making phone calls, doing things in spurts, right? That I feel like it can make a difference. Some of you are out there, you're choosing to protest, do things, but then bring yourself back and limit with limitations, because you've got to stay well in this. Awareness is powerful, but absorption is depleting. So I just want to make sure that there's that delineation between awareness and absorption. Awareness is powerful. You can spread the message. You can get out there. You can connect with other people. You can be strong, and absorption is depleting. So there's 2 more tips here real quick. I want you to consider reconnecting to your mission, connect to your why, right? Those headlines out there, they are shifting hourly and they are not good. I'm just going to tell you, you don't even have to open your phone. I'm telling you, they're not good. We do need to see what's happening. I get it. But at the same time, I want you to try to find a way to reconnect to your why, because that's like a little flame inside you that needs to be relit. And you will be better, a stronger voice in the world. You will be able to be more powerful in the world when that is lit. So I want you to do what you need to do to light the flame within you. If your work is about healing, truth, empowerment, expansion, it is not irrelevant right now. Okay? None of it. None of the work that we're doing is irrelevant at all. It is needed. What we're counting on you to do is embody and be steady. And we want to listen to you, and we want to feel guided by you, right? We want to feel led. And your job is to get grounded in who you are and be the most you can be out there in the world. And that's enough. That's it. And then the last one is, I just want to say, your leadership right now is medicine. It isn't about having the answers. It's about holding the space, the steadiness, the ground. I just want to say that to you. There is a wound that is distracting all of us, and you can be medicine. And if you viewed yourself as medicine, and you knew that putting myself out there on some level is medicine for somebody. What if it's just one person? What if it's like 5 people? That is in itself miraculous and incredible that we have the ability to do that. And so I just want you to know that now more than ever, leadership is medicine. We're all looking for medicine right now. Becoming medicine doesn't mean, replicating chaos in your own nervous system. It doesn't mean amplifying your own fear. Being medicine is not reacting impulsively. It's modeling integrity. It's modeling discernment, and it's modeling depth that we all feel drawn to. So you don't have to know how this ends. You just have to stay open-hearted while it unfolds, because we don't know how this is all going to go. What if what comes after this is something really beautiful? This moment feels like exposure. It feels uncomfortable. Exposure is uncomfortable. The wound is exposed, right? The underbelly, the shadow has risen. And that never feels good. But exposure is also the beginning of healing, because we see it. Businesses, maybe they become more ethical. Maybe leadership becomes more embodied across our country, across our world. Maybe truth becomes less colorful, less performative, and more lived, maybe real and more honest. Maybe this shifts how we approach things in our world. And maybe it all becomes more about integrity, because we know there's a lacking of integrity. We're seeing it. We're seeing it everywhere. I've always felt this way about politics in general, but I just want to shed that we are part of potentially a very meaningful time, and you get to help shape that future by how you show up now. Before we end today, I want to give you something practical. We know the world feels loud as we're talking about all this stuff. Everything, we're bracing in the world. Everything is intense. I want to help you clear. The most important thing you can do right now is actually clear. And wherever you are, if this feels safe, I'm going to have you take a nice, slow, deep breath right now as you're listening to me. I want you to imagine this, okay? Any cords, hooks, or energetic threads connecting you to people, headlines, conversations, expectations, projections, I want you to imagine them gently dissolving. You do not have to fight them. You do not have to rip them out. You just let them soften and release and dissolve. Take a nice deep breath. Now imagine that you're calling back your energy. And you can say this out loud if you want, but I call back my energy from social media as you're breathing in. I call back my energy from the news cycles. I call back my energy from clients. I call back my energy from old versions of me. Breathe it in and breathe it out. I call back my energy from imagined futures, for internal pressure. I call back my energy from past conversations. Breathe it in, breathe it out. And I call back my energy from across time and space. I call it all back into my body. And as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that like 100 little tiny orbs of light start floating into your body. They pass right through your skin, right into your soul self, right? Your whole core self. And you breathe that in, and you are whole in a new way. You have released your connections, your attachments to the things that drain you. And now you are plugged in like a battery. And as you breathe in this one last breath, I want you to feel your chest light up, your belly all the way down to your feet. And just let all that light settle back in. It's exactly where it needs to be. It knows its place. It's home. So let's settle. You are allowed to be informed without being entangled. You can care without caring at all. And you are allowed to lead without absorbing everything. And when your energy is yours again, you'll stop disappearing. You're likely going to let go of the freeze. So in this place right now, I want you to just take a moment to choose your next aligned micro step. What is one small thing that you can do that just starts the snowball effect? One small thing. Take a deep breath and just trust yourself. Later, I'd like for you to also get into attachment with your why again. Why what it is that you want is important to you. And really remember it. Really let it resonate. Now, if this was helpful and you'd like to do more work around clearing yourself and doing the energetic work that takes to be in this world right now, 100%, this is what I do all the time. I don't know if you have it or not already, but I have the squeegee method for you to go into the show notes and download it. It is totally free, and it is a 10-minute meditation. But it's really more than a meditation. What it really is a method, and it's a way for you to learn how to do this on your own, anywhere and everywhere. You can do it in an elevator, you can do it in a car. I do it everywhere. I do it in between my clients, I do it at the end of my day, and it is incredibly helpful. The ground, clear, and protect factors of it are designed specifically to help you wipe away emotional energy that doesn't belong to you and restore your energetic clarity. So I have many of my clients doing this. Many people have written into me who have downloaded it and said, oh my God, I got rid of my migraine. My brain fog is gone. My unexplained moodiness has gotten better. So go ahead and download that and learn how to do this for yourself. So you'll know exactly how to hit the reset button, because this squeegee method is the reset button. It really can be. So as we end here today, remember, clear what isn't yours, right? Call your energy back. Call your energy home, take care of it, and trust your sacred path. It's so unique to you and so special, and you're right where you're supposed to be. You are right on time. I will be right here with you doing the exact same thing. We got this, okay? Have a beautiful week, and bye for now. Thank you for joining me on Into the Work, Therapy for Empaths and Seekers. If this episode spoke to you, please follow the podcast and leave a review. It is the best way to spread this healing work to other women. Your presence here matters. Step into your power, heal your soul, and rise with women who are doing the same. Keep joining us every week, and together we can heal the world. If you're ready to dive deeper, grab your free Shadow Work Transformation Bundle in the show notes, and I will look forward to seeing you next week.